rationalization of centrally sponsored scheme. So next question is about the centrally sponsored scheme. Okay, centrally sponsored scheme. So the chairman of the 15th finance commission that was voiced that there need to be further rationalization of this scheme. Okay, so rationalization of the central sponsor scheme are planned transfer to state by union government, which are implemented state government and in section following the state and concurrent list. This is falling under the state and concurrent list. This is falling under the state and concurrent list. Okay, CSS is the biggest component for the central assistance to the state plan. It will provide the central assistance. It will provide the central assistance to the state. Okay, so it is initial year planning in India. The number of CSS are very large, but now at the time of 9th plan, 5th plan, which is increased 360 at the end of 9th plan. So that was the centrally sponsored scheme. In the 5th plan it was 190, but now in the 9th plan it became in 360 centrally sponsored scheme, and this is the biggest component of the central government to the state. Biggest component central government to the state. Next one is three type of the centrally sponsored schemes are there. First is the core of core scheme. First is the core of the core scheme. This scheme have compulsory participation of the state. There is a compulsory participation of the state. Okay, there is a compulsory participation of the state, like Magnarega, umbrella scheme for the SC and ST. Okay, an umbrella scheme for the OBC, an umbrella scheme for the minorities. Okay, so these schemes are related to the special category state and the general category state, and this is core of core scheme. Okay, Manrega, umbrella scheme for SC, ST, OBC, minority, these are comes under the core of core scheme, and they have a compulsory participation of the state. Now next scheme is core scheme. So core of core scheme there is a 6 scheme, but in core scheme there is 20 scheme. Have compulsory participation of the state. Again, state has a compulsory participation also, so they are compulsory to the participation in this. Now general category states are the 60% and 40%. This will be ratio, and for the special category it will be the 90 and 10. Okay, so in core of core scheme there was not given any ratio. That was only 6 scheme, but in the core scheme there is a pattern, that is 60-40 and 90-10. Okay, so what the name of this scheme? First is Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana. Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana. Okay, Krishi Vikas Yojana, Pashudan Vikas Yojana, and Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, and National Mission on the Health, and Swachh Bharat Mission. Next one is Swachh Bharat Mission, and development scheme like child development scheme. Next one is the child development scheme. Next one is integrated child development and education mission, forestry mission, and Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. These all schemes are in that. Now next scheme is optional. Next scheme is the optional scheme. Here state could choose some or all of them. So some will choose by the state. Some will choose by the state, and that is about 50 and 50% share. Okay, National River Conservation Plan. National River Conservation Plan. Okay, so this plan was a optional plan. So this three type of scheme, core scheme and the optional scheme are there. And in the optional scheme 50% share is there, and in that one program is there, National River Conservation Plan, only National River Conservation Plan. Okay, so what is the steps toward the rationalization of the centrally sponsored scheme? First is state taken in the deliberation like 2014 and 15, 2014 and 15. Okay, so this is centrally sponsored schemes are now being routed through the consolidated fund. First is they are routed by the consolidated fund of India, and now second thing is what, reduced number of this is 66 to now it is become the 28. This scheme before that 66, now it's 28. Increased choice given a state to select the optional scheme, reduce the rigidity. It will reduce the rigidity. It will going to reduce the rigidity and raise the 10 to 25% states and annual allocation under this scheme. Now flexibility is also there, and that was raised by 30%. Evaluation is also with the Niti Aayog. So these schemes are evaluated by the Niti Aayog. It is evaluated by the Niti Aayog, and process of evaluation. So that was from the Niti Aayog and Finance Commission cycle. Like evaluation will be with the Finance Commission and the Niti Aayog. Okay. Now next topic is related to the promotion of the Hindi. Recently, an occasion of the Hindi Divas. So there was a Hindi Divas. Okay, Hindi Divas was there, and that was the Union Home Minister that had proposed to promote the Hindi for the common language. Hindi for the common language they wanted to promote. So Article 351 of the Constitution, and that was promote the spirit of Hindi language to develop it so that it may serve as a medium of expression. It's to secure its enrichment by assimilation without interfering with the genius and style of expression used in Hindustani and in other language. India specified the 8th schedule. So 8th schedule of the Constitution, which is specified the languages. We know about Article 351, which is related to the promote the Hindi language, and second thing we should be in our mind, that is 8th schedule of the Constitution. Okay, and Article 120 and Article 210, these two articles are related to the regarding language to use in the Parliament and the State Assembly. Parliament and the State Assembly. So when the language is used in the Parliament of the State Assembly, so option of the translating business in the Hindi as well as in the English. Next one is the article of 340 and 3. Next one is article of the 343. 340 and 3. Okay, so this one is state Hindi written in the Devanagari script, and there was a Devanagari script. Devanagari and script. Okay, script, Devanagari script, and union and give power to the Parliament. Okay, now next one is article 344, Parliament to decide the law, the language to be used in the official work. This language is for the official work. Which language we are using for the official work, that is in the article 343. But providing for the parliamentary committee 10 year to president regarding the progressive use of Hindi, that is restriction on the use of English. So progressive use of Hindi, that is comes under the 344. Okay, other constitutional provision regarding to the Hindi is, one is the article 29, that is gives every Indian the right to distinct language, script and culture. Okay, this is related to the right to distinct language, script and the culture. Next is article 30, which is provide the right to minority establish a educational institution, and that is for the minorities. That is for the minorities to establish a educational institution. And next one is article 350A. Okay, this article is facilitate for instruction in mother tongue. This is facilitates instruction in the mother tongue. And next article is 350B, special officer for the linguistic minority. Special officer for the linguistic minority. Okay, now we adopted the three language formula. We adopted the three language formula. One is Hindi language. Okay, Hindi language. Second one is the English language, and third is the regional language. Okay, this three language formula is there. So teaching of the Hindi across the country was crystallized into policy official document, that is National Policy on Education. That was the National Policy of the Education 1968. And next one, it was again mooted in the National Policy of Education in 2019. Okay, 2019 one more policy came. In this also it muted that Hindi should be all over the India, there should be Hindi. Now next one is state has been following the two language formula. One is English language and one is regional language. Okay, so now we want to promote Hindi language as well as. That's why there was a national policy on education. Okay, so these two topics we discussed.